Hi, City of Manassas. I'm Theresa Ellis, your council member. And I'm excited to introduce the next program in my Shadow for a Day series on how to be a brewer. I interviewed Blane Perry with Sinistrial Brewing Company, and you're going to find out all about his story. So Blane and his wife Stacy opened Sinistrial a few years ago. It's located right in the heart of historic Manassas, next to the train tracks. They have a lot of fun. They have music and a lot of good tasting cold beverages. Hope you enjoy. Watch till the end and you'll find out how to connect if you're interested in being a brewer as a career, job, or a hobby. Enjoy. And we are visiting today with Sinistrial Brewing Company with Blane Perry. And we're going to get a little insight for all of you about what it takes to open a business, especially a brewing company, and how it has impacted, his business has been impacted over the last few months with the COVID-19. So this is going to be very interesting. We are in the city of Manassas, right next to the train. Good location. Can you just tell me, Blane, a little bit about yourself?
I was a military brat. Grew up a little bit of everywhere, from Portland, California, Ohio, Hawaii, Hampton, Virginia. I was born in Hampton. And, just moved around with the family as a military brat. And I ended up going in the military myself. I was a Marine. And after I got out of the Marines, I moved out to Portland, Oregon. And it was right during the craft beer boom.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where, I found out that I can make this at home. Mm-hmm. Why not make it at home? Why not try to make this thing and have some fun? It's science, dude. Have fun creating your own happiness, because that's what I'm in business. I serve people to make them happy.
What does Sinistrial mean? What's the background?
Because I'm left-handed.
Okay.
So I tend to think with the right side of my brain, and this is a fun thing that I can do. It's something that's relaxing. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort, especially when you're brewing on a small system. And at the end, you get to reap your reward. It's almost like a farmer when he plants his field, you reap what you sow. So if I make good beer, guess what? I made it, and I get to enjoy it with people and give it to other people.
That's great.
It's fun, yeah.
So did you, what is your education background that you ended up going into brewing?
I mean, I took some college classes in military. It just, school didn't challenge me. I needed something to actually physically challenge me. I was always like that. I was always an athlete. I did things that challenged me.
You're a self-taught person, and you have the drive to succeed. And sometimes that is one of the most important parts of opening a business. It's amazing. You're like one of the top brewing companies in the area. Everyone knows about Sinistrial Brewing. It's amazing.
I think so. At least within the 30 miles.
So, what was your career field in the Marines?
So I was a reconnaissance Marine, and which really was, it was fun. When I got out, my dad actually gave me an opportunity to work at our family business that we created when I was 10, to become his IT director.
Okay.
So my career, not this career, my real career was actually in IT.
Okay.
So I did IT work for close to 16 years in Maryfield.
And your family had its own business?
Yeah, we've had a few businesses.
Okay.
So my family has been entrepreneurs their whole lives. Mm-hmm. We started a baseball card shop when I was in the 5th grade, and I ran one baseball card shop, my brother ran the other. Mm-hmm. And my dad was in the Navy at the time, so we'd have to drum up business. We'd go to school and tell everybody, hey, we got these new cards, we got this, we have this, we have this. And it kind of taught me, like, how do you entice people to come to your place? How do you make sure that those people when they come there are satisfied, and what is the overall experience of the place when they leave. So this was kind of like, let's do it, let's have some fun, and I still knew that I could still have fun and still do something fun, but still have the public come in and say, hey, this is an awesome place, this is a cool place to be. So.
That's important what you said, as if you understand the principles of business, you can take up lots of different types of businesses. Just a background, my father is an auto mechanic, in Pennsylvania, and his knees and back went out a long time ago. He's 79 years old. He still works full time running this big operation. And I think that's what the students have to start thinking about, the big picture. It's an important part of education. So the city of Manassas, the country, the world has had a rough few months with the COVID-19. What type of impact has that had on your business?
It's been tough. If I said it was fine, I'd be lying. It's been tough. Luckily, we have such a good, strong foundation in our community that people didn't want to see us fail. So they came out regardless of what they had to spend, what they needed to do. I mean, even at their own self-peril, they came out, they wanted to see us survive, because this is a place that we established that people in this community love. They love coming here, they love hanging out, and they didn't want to see it go. It was hard. You can't stop. If you hit a roadblock, you gotta find a way around it, you gotta find a way over it. If you don't do that, you're just gonna stay in the same place your whole life. You gotta keep moving.
That's important. Did you have to pivot at all and go in a different direction?
We did. Now we couldn't serve off the tap.
Yeah.
We had to actually order cans. We had to pay a staff to stay longer. We had to fill cans. We had to get can toppers, everything that goes into distribution. We never wanted to distribute our beer. We always wanted to serve off the tap, because this is that environment. So now we just moved. We took our thing and went completely 180 and went to distribution environment, and it was tough. There was definitely things that we had to learn, definitely things we had to learn from the law side, like, oh, you can't do this or you can do that.
Yeah.
It was tough, but we made it. Hopefully we made it. I don't know if we're completely through it yet, but we made it so far.
So with the selection that you have here, do you keep a consistent selection, or do you change them all out all the time?
We have 5 beers that are our flagships,
Okay.
and they're named after our children.
Okay.
So we have Jackson. We'll start from oldest to youngest. So it's Jackson, Gray, Carson, Cameron, Arden. So it's
Wow,
Jackson
that's neat.
Fish Taco Lager, and then we have Little Gray IPA, and then we have Carson's Pale Ale, Cameron's Porter, and Little Arden's Amber Ale.
Oh, isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
I love that. What is your top seller?
I don't want to say.
Okay.
Because they'll probably hear this,
Yeah.
and then they'll start
All of
gloating.
them.
Yeah, they'll start fighting.
All of them are top
Yeah, all of them
sellers.
are top sellers.
With the change that you had to go through during the COVID-19, was there anything that you tried that didn't work, and then you had to shift to a different direction?
I don't think so. We tried everything that we could do to make sure that we stayed within guidelines and still stayed open. You know? But it wasn't anything we did. It was everything that our community did. Everybody just really bonded, and they came up and they had a sense of Manassas. They had a sense of, this is our town. This is what we think is something that we need to make sure it doesn't go away.
So do you have any, how do you get people to keep coming back? Like, do you have any programs or anything that, like premier programs or things that give them a sense of belonging?
You open up a brewery next to a brewery, you make yourself a destination. Now, if you have a bunch of breweries all together, now everybody wants to come because they can hop to brewery to brewery to brewery. That's why they build those strip malls that have tons of restaurants and everybody goes there. But we, at Sinistrial, we have a mug club, And we limit it to 100, I think it's 175 again. Sorry, Dave, that was wrong. I think it's 175 people. Because she said, you know, we got to keep it small so it stays sexy. So kind of like
the mug.
kind of like we short sexy.
Mug.
So they so we keep it small, keep it community. Like everybody knows that I'm part of that mug club, and when somebody sees that mug, they're like, oh, they're in the mug club, and we have a waiting list. Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's insane. We sold out our last mug club in 26 minutes.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Great.
because people want to be a part of it.
What do you see as the future of Sinistrial? Like going forward, do you see any plans? Like,
I mean, I have tons of plans in my head, but who knows what the future will bring. We're just gonna, keep our nose to the grind and, hopefully keep putting out, good liquid for people to drink, and they can come in and have a good time with us. I think just being a part of the community and supporting the community will help us with that. It's when you stop doing that is when things stop for yourself.
I remember when this location was like an old abandoned gas station. And this corner, it seemed like what's ever going to happen with. They tried a couple of things and nothing seemed to work. When you came in, you and Stacy, and had this vision, and now look what you have achieved. It's like a great place to come and be a sense of community, have the good things to drink. We also have this great room here. You talked about plans for this room possibly. Extra space, growth. It's all really good. So to be a brewer, it sounds like a lot of science. Can you just talk about the steps involved in your job?
Yeah, I mean, it's an applied science, right? So it's mathematics. It's knowing volumes and units, and also knowing temperatures and how yeast react to certain temperatures, and how this does this, and how much CO2 affects the beer. And then once it comes out the glass, you're like, wow, I took it from its raw material, put water on it, added salts back, did this, and now I have this that people are enjoying. But it took 2 months. Wow, that's pretty amazing. That I kept it all the way through all of those cycles of beer to get this one thing for people to enjoy.
So that whole process takes about 2 months?
If you're doing lagers and stuff like
Okay.
that, if you're doing IPAs, it's usually, we really never pull any of our beers unless they're at least 24 days old.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it usually takes about a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time we take a tour of where all this magic happens. And
Great.
I'm hoping afterwards we can get a nice cold beverage.
Sure. I
That'd
can
be great.
take care of that for you.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks, Blane.
Perfect. Yeah.
Let's go.
It's one of those things where if you don't like hard work, it's probably not something that you want to do, because honestly there's a lot of cleaning, because you're serving the public, and if you don't serve the public something that's sanitary, you're gonna not have a brewery for long. So you have to have some, again, we go back to discipline.
Discipline. The brew house is Sinistrial Brewing Company, and Blane is going to explain a little bit about what he does in here to bring us this cold beverage for everyone in the city of Manassas.
So essentially, this is the last process right here. We've already mashed our beer, we've already boiled the beer, we've added the hops and everything. So now what we're doing is we're essentially moving into the fermenter where we're going to prepare to ferment the beer. So as you can see here, our wort is moving into the fermenter, and we're putting oxygen on top of it, because without oxygen, yeast cannot grow.
so that we can let our students know and our young professionals that there are lots of interesting careers out there that can benefit the community in many ways. I know you have a great heart. You do a lot to give back to the community too. So let's do a toast to Sinistrial Brewing Company, Blane and Stacy, for everything they've done in our city. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.